Hi guys, Happy New Year. Time to go back in time.
Scruffy Crow.
Hi, as I said, Happy New Year. This is my first video of the new year. I'm afraid I haven't done more videos recently, but hopefully this is going to be the start of a new project and a reason to get a lot more videos done this year. I'll start by thinking about the old world. So there's a lot of hype right now. I've personally pre-ordered some rules for the old world, but also this year I want to play a bunch more Oathmark, and depending on how the old world stuff goes, probably a bunch more 6th edition. With that in mind, I was somewhat challenged to start a new army, new year, new army and all that, and I've been meaning to do these guys for a while, and if you've watched a lot of my videos, you've probably seen snippets of these models before. This is of course my all-metal Beastmen army that I've been meaning to do for some time. Beastmen are listed as part of the new sort of factions for the old world, so I should be good there. And I think I have more than enough models to be getting on with, absolutely hundreds of these beautiful classic models that to this day I've never really managed to get into a nice cohesive army, which I've always wanted to do. So they're perfect setup for a new project. So right at the start of the project, just before I really kicked off, this book arrived for me that I got on a bit of a bargain from eBay. Absolutely gorgeous book. So if you were playing 6th edition and you wanted to do some Beastmen before the Beastmen rulebook came out, this would have probably been the miniatures that you had available to you. So very few plastics. I don't think there's any plastic Beastmen at this point, apart from the sort of classic monopose guy. But you'd have, even though I didn't start the hobby till a few years after this book was produced, I've got one of these guys. He'll be part of this project. I don't have many Minotaurs, but as you can see, we do have a few. I've got 3 in my initial list. Only one kind of Bestigor back then, and I've got absolutely tons of these. And we've also got all of these beautiful Gors that will form the sort of core of the army. I've got a few chariots, but they won't be in the initial list. I don't think I've got all the parts to build the purely original chariot, but I might fix that. A lot of my chariots have the newer riders. We've got a good selection of Ungors, maybe not as many as I'd like, but at least 20 of these spears to make some 6th edition style herds. Chaos Hounds, tons of those I've found, dug out and pieced together, and even one of these Demon Princes, but once again that won't be in the initial list. And then most of what's left is more generic Chaos. I do have a handful of these that I picked up recently. They might join the Beastmen list as well, the nice bloodletters. We've got Gorthor, which is the special character. Once again, not in the initial list, but certainly going to be making an appearance, as well as Khazrak and Redmore. Redmore will be appearing in the first list, though, as just a generic Chaos Hound, because it's an absolutely lovely model. We even have one of these amazing Chaos Spawns, even if I didn't have quite enough bits and had to sub in a tail from somewhere else. I have Dragon Ogres too, but I don't think they're quite right for this army, maybe. But there are, I don't know, maybe at some point. Because I have been meaning to redo this Shaggoth for a while, and that might be thematic, but But no, so my initial plan for the first part of this new project is going to be only models from this book. I've got a lot of lovely newer Warhounds, for instance, but for this project I'm just going to stick to these classics, which, side note, I've never really understood. We had the sort of undead style one, the sort of Fleshhound style one, and a kind of more wolfy one, and then completely different style, sculpt, everything. We've got this one here, and although we'll be sticking to this sort of era and sort of pre the plastics, doesn't mean there won't be some conversions and subs, such as I always really liked this Direwolf Alpha model or whatever it was. I believe technically this is a Vampire Counts model, but I always just really like the sort of movement in the shape of it. And I think he sits alongside these guys quite nicely as well. And he is in the book. So let's take a look at this initial list then, shall we? First of all, we have 2 Bray herds. That's 10 Gores and 10 Ungor spears. Then we have 20 Bestigor, 3 Minotaurs, 2 units of 5 Chaos Hounds, a Spawn, a Beast Lord, and a Bray Shaman. All of these models are original and from the book. They're all metal, but I have been 3D printing some shields, but we'll mention more about that in a second. List-wise for this project, we'll be using the army list out of this book here, which obviously pairs with this book here. As I said, the models in this book have gotten the update. So this is the chariot that I have. So I have got rid of all my plastic Gores and Ungors in favour of these metal ones. And I have Centaurs, and you know, the Shaggoth we just saw and stuff like that. Although I don't have any of these. I've always fancied some of these Khorngor. So ultimately, this is the list I'll be using with reinforcements from here. And as I said, that first 1,000 points will be completely sort of authentic 2000s Beastmen with pretty much no conversions or anything like that. A few of the things we are going to have to do is I'm going to have to 3D print some more shields. I'm not super keen on, for instance, this one here, but this is a print. This is from when I was first learning to print and mess around with different resins. Also, you may notice the base is the same resin. Now, I could not find a base with a cross slot anywhere to buy. And I was never really keen on printing bases. And I couldn't find even a file to print a base with a crossed slot like this, especially not with sort of bracing in the middle. So you will notice that I've actually resorted to designing my own bases for this project. I don't know if I'll stick with these, but they look fine. GW base are right around the right time. Oh, they are a little bit taller, but then I said them at my design, so we can always fix that. But there's millimeters in it. I did iterate a few versions of this, so potentially I already fixed the height difference there. Because I did notice that although Games Workshop are offering a lot of these sort of legacy bases, none of them are slotted, obviously, because I don't think they're going to be releasing any metal that's going to require one. So as I said, my plan for this project is to make it initially legal for 6th edition, maybe looking at making sure I had enough units and bodies to use these guys as orcs in Oathmark, and also potentially coming up with some legal lists for the old world. I have a lot more of all these models, so this is only the first chunk. And the way I was going to film it was going to be a series of progress videos. I might even try and do weekly, but don't bank on it. Just updating you how it's all going, as well as specific videos on specific models and techniques or anything that I can think of. But all the videos I release in the meantime will be at least loosely based around this project. There are some other bits that I want to still get to this year, such as this beautiful bear and a lovely old school dragon that I have. But I'm literally going to try and put everything else on hold until we've got this first 1,000 points done. So as I said, that is going to be the focus of the channel for the next couple of months probably. I hope this is something you guys are interested in and these are models that you like, because you'll be seeing a lot of them. Let me know if there's anything you'd love to see for this project down in the comments, and if this is the sort of thing you're after, and also who out there is interested in the old world and who's going to skip it and just play 6th edition or Oathmark. And if you do want to see more of these guys, don't forget to subscribe.